Hey, what's up guys? This is Nightwing2303 from kicksoncourt.com. Today we have the 13th installment of the Air Jordan project. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. As usual, start off at the bottom of the shoe here. As you can see, there is full-length herringbone and it is separated into targeted pods. I've played in the originals and I've also played in the 2004-2005 retros, and I remember those ones being just unbelievably awesome. When I first put these guys on here and started playing the first night, I was just super pissed. I was a little bit disappointed. I was sliding around all over the place. However, if you keep playing in them, they just get better. So the traction actually does need some break-in time, most likely because the pods are recessed into the rubber here, whereas I've been getting used to the like more aggressive kind of traction patterns where it's like encompassing most of the sole. So this was just a little bit of a change of pace. So like it just wasn't what I remembered, but it started getting to the way that I remembered it towards the end of my playing time in these, and it ended up playing really well, especially after I'd say about maybe like 4 or 5 days worth of good break-in time, about 2 to 3 hours a night. So it takes a little bit of time, but it's not anything to complain about. Once that's done, you're getting pretty much full coverage. You're getting lateral coverage, you're getting front to back coverage, and you can pretty much do anything on here. As you can see, because it is targeted, there are pretty good flex groups in there, so you're getting plenty of flex and range of motion. This is much different than the Air Jordan 12, where those were built really boot-like, so these ones just kind of bring you down a little bit further. They targeted the cushion system and they just brought out the base a little bit. So this shoe, in my opinion, is a complete upgrade from the Air Jordan 12, just right off the bat, starting with the outsole. The cushion of the shoe is pretty simple. It's pretty much what they use nowadays. It's just targeted zoom. You got one in the heel and then you got one on the forefoot. The forefoot is a full-length bag. It's shaped pretty much right around here, and then the heel unit is what we've all been getting used to as well. They've been using those things for years. So in addition to the Zoom Air, there is a Phylon midsole here. It does require a small amount of break-in time, but it's not anything crazy. One thing that I will say is that when comparing these directly to the previous models, the cushion is not as good. The Zoom units are quite a bit thinner than they used to be. However, it's still Zoom Air, so you still get the responsiveness and it still gives you that good cushion feel while giving you some court feel as well. So the cushion I have absolutely no problems with. I did like the cushion in the Jordan 12 just a little bit better. It had a little bit more like spring to it, but other than that, I thought that this was perfectly fine. Just going to zoom up real quick for the beginning of the materials. This is the 2010 version, I believe. The newer ones are a little bit better in the materials, but this is something that I think was a problem. I don't know if you're going to be able to even see that, but basically it's split right here. And it did it in a few different sections. Now, the first thing that you're probably thinking is, oh man, Jordan Brand's quality is crap. That's actually only partially true. This particular model, like this retro here, the material is not as good as the rest of them. Like the rest of them meaning the newest ones. However, the reason why that's split is because of the top coat, the polyurethane coat that I keep explaining that's on split grains. A lot of people like to just say, oh, this is full grain leather. It's really not full grain leather. Full grain leather is a lot thicker than this. It's much more durable. You can feel the difference, you can smell the difference, and all of that kind of good stuff. This is a split grain with a polyurethane coat on top of the leather to protect it. With that coat, you can pretty much do anything to it. You can add colors, textures, make it look tumbled, you can make it look textured, you can make it look like Stingray, you can make it look like anything you want. So the part that actually split was the polyurethane coat. So the leather's still intact, it's just the coat was bonded to the glue itself on the midsole. Is that going to mean that the midsole is going to fall off? No, it doesn't. That's still attached perfectly fine, and it's attached to the Strobel board, which is attached to the entire upper. So you're not going to have your shoe fall apart on you. However, I do not like when shoes do that. That's one of the downsides to polyurethane coated leather, in my opinion. So with that being said, I am going to have to knock down the score on the leather on this guy here. Again, if you use some of the newer ones, they're a little bit better. So like the Playoff 13s, and what else just released? The black and white 13s, or the white and black ones, the Homes. A lot of people like to call them the He Got Games. And There are some other ones. Oh, the black and red 13s that just released this year too. So I would choose one of those over like this guy here, unless you just wanted to have a pair to play in. This is going to be just fine. As far as the fit is concerned, they fit true to size. The newest ones from this most recent year and the playoffs from last year, they feel like they're a little bit big. I don't know why. It's the same thing with those 12s that I played in as well. They ran fine for me in 2009, and then the rest of them, they feel a little bit bigger. I don't know if they're being made at different factories or whatever, but these ones fit me fine. The newest ones, I'd go down half a size to get that snug, contained fit. That's just me personally. You guys could do what you want to do. If you end up buying your regular size and they feel like they're a little bit too big, just place another insole in there and it'll lift you up enough to where it feels like you're wearing the correct size. As far as the lockdown goes, the midfoot lockdown is amazing. Everything just keeps your foot in place. Even the heel lockdown is nothing to complain about. The only thing is that once the leather's broken in a little bit, you're going to have to readjust your laces. That's perfectly fine and normal for leather-based sneakers. This is something that you just kind of have to deal with if you choose to wear something that's made out of raw materials versus a plastic or a synthetic, that what most of the newest models are made out of. So I think that the fit is awesome though. This is probably one of my favorite Air Jordans just ever. These and the 14s, they're, as far as like me being a kid, like they're definitely my favorites to play in. Recently, as far as me being a lot older now, I do really like the 12s, and again, I still like the 13s just as much. The Air Jordan 13 quite possibly is the least ventilated Air Jordan to date. That and the 12, I mean, they're pretty much close to each other. However, I just like, this one doesn't breathe very well at all. There are perforations throughout the tongue. However, the entire back is lined, and there is padding in there, so it just kind of restricts a lot of that movement. Or not movement, but the airflow. And then as you can see here, the rest of the material is just straight up leather with that polyurethane coat, which is not breathable whatsoever. So, are the pairs that have the mesh siding a little bit more breathable? It's quite possible you're going to get a little bit more heat to escape out of those, but as far as this version goes here, it's just not happening. The overall support comes from the fit as well as the carbon fiber shank at the base of the shoe. This just adds some torsional support and rigidity, along with some arch support, and it's not a spring plate. So the Jordan 12 and the Jordan 11s had one that ran almost full length across the bottom of the foot. This one's very sectioned. It just kind of stays within this area, reduces weight a little bit, and it allows for a lot more flexibility, whereas the other two models previously were a little bit stiff in the midsole. As I was saying, the overall fit is going to provide you with the rest of the support, the containment, and the lockdown. Once the break-in period is done, you're just going to readjust your laces. You're going to be perfectly fine afterwards. And the level of support will vary depending on the colorway that you choose. Obviously, the pairs that are like this that have primarily a leather upper, those are going to offer you a lot more support than the version with the mesh siding. However, if you like range of motion and things like that, then I'd go with the mesh versus the leather, because this is going to be a little bit more restrictive. Just a quick recap. The traction, solid after break-in period. I give these guys a solid 9.5 out of 10. The cushion's not what it used to be, but it's still very good, and it's Zoom Air, so you get some forefoot cushion and you get some heel cushion, plus it's responsive and low to the ground for good court feel. So with that, I give them a solid 9. The material on this particular pair was lacking just a little bit as far as its overall durability goes. The newer pairs might not be the same way. However, this is the pair that I'm testing, so with that, I'm going to give the material a 7.5 out of 10. I felt that the overall fit was awesome. The lockdown was great. I had no complaints whatsoever, so with that, I give them a 9 out of 10. Ventilation sucks. It gets a 0. Sorry. The overall support with the combined fit and the lockdown I thought was great. Basically, it just gets a 9 out of 10. So the overall score for the Air Jordan 13 is a 7.5. That's a slight roundup just because it's going to be crazy hard for me to edit like a 7.33 score on a scale, like a little shoe icon that I do on the scorecards that are on the website. So it's going to be a 7.5 out of 10. The thing that did draw the score back overall was its lack of material, or I'd say its lack of quality from the material, and also the ventilation. The thing that you got to keep in mind with the scores is that you're only supposed to pay attention to the attributes that you need. If you're going to be complaining about something else, that's your problem, and you can go ahead and sit there and pout about it. So if you need anything else as far as their weight and any additional information, you can go to my site, XIII.com. So with that being said, Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all your support. Stay tuned to next time because we're going to go off with the Air Jordan 14, which is something that I've been waiting for the entire time. And with that being said, thank you guys again, and have a good one.